Wholesaling is buying in bulk and selling it in retail price. No, I'm just joking. Well, it is not completely false too. Hello, namaste. This is your host Sarachalam Charla. Today we are going to talk about wholesaling. Before I go any further, I really want you to like my video, share, and also subscribe to my channel. This is really important for this YouTube algorithm. So what is wholesaling? As I said, wholesaling is buying in bulk and selling it in retail. That is not exactly right, but on the other side, like in any other industry, wholesaling is buying from vendors and supply to retailers, and the retailers in turn sell it to the public. The same way in real estate, wholesaling is buying the property from owners and selling it to the flippers. From there, selling it to the public through MLS. Wholesaling is an easy way to get rich quick to start in real estate investing. It can be a wonderful business and it sounds simple, but at the same time, it needs lot of attention, time, effort, and lot of dedication to find the right leads. The people who do wholesaling are called wholesalers. Who are these sellers? They can be you, me, or anyone. So nowadays, the wholesalers are so aggressively marketing, finding leads and everything. If you own a property, you might have received a mail or a phone call or a text message by now stating I want to buy your property for cash. That's the catch. So in this wholesaling process, you need cash to settle down all this auction before going to auction or anything. Because the usual public, if they want to buy a house, they need to look for mortgages, go around the banks, get all this. It takes forever. But this, in wholesaling process, it needs to be done really quick. In order to do that, they look for buyers who can buy the house or the property with cash. So many wholesalers, they do these contracts starting with $10 or $100, and some sellers, they want it a little more cash in the contract just to have more trust on the whole deal. The sellers are the distressed property owners. The distressed properties are these underwater properties where the owner is not able to pay the mortgage on time. So let's say they have few situations. They may have lost their job or losses in businesses and be some family issues. The bank waits for a couple of months and start lis pendens, which is the bank formally starts foreclosure process. So where do these wholesalers get the data? The wholesalers get the data from county websites and other sources and approach the owner. So why do you think the sellers trust these guys? They have to do some kind of pitching. They need to show how much experience and how much they have the market, how soon they can close the deal and all that. Let's say the case where a property is around $300,000 when the seller purchased it, and the seller paid a principal amount of $100,000 to the bank. So there is a principal amount left is $200,000 you need to pay to the bank. As of today market, let's say the house cost is around $350,000 to $375,000. There is $150,000 difference there. So what happens is, if the seller walks away, he loses the whole money, whatever he paid till date. So in order to avoid that, the seller, if they work with these wholesalers and get out of it. So what happens is, the seller signs a document to the wholesaler to release the mortgage information. The wholesaler talks to the bank, get more information, and also do a quick inspection of the house, the conditions and all that, and know what would be the ARV of the house is. They calculate this ARV, which is after repair value. So once they have the number, the wholesaler decides whether to move ahead or not. Also, they will explain how much the seller would get it from the whole process. They do not have to go through the foreclosure process, and it will not affect the credit history for 7 years. And doing all this, there is a chance the seller would get some money out of it too. So it is a win-win situation. So once the seller decides to sell the house to this wholesaler, they will sign a contract. Now the wholesaler has the contract and he will look for potential buyer. So all this happens in no time. It doesn't take months, usually like few weeks to a month, or maybe before that too. A potential buyer in this case is mostly a flipper who does buy the houses, the whole thing with cash. Once the flipper buys a house, they do all the rehab and puts in the market. Usually they take around 4 to 6 months to take the rehab, and then later they put the house into the market through MLS, which is multiple listing services. Not everyone has access to MLS. Usually the realtors, brokers, or real estate agents, they have access to the MLS. So from MLS, the websites like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, they get all the data, and that's where the public sees the data. So now I believe you understand the basics of the wholesaling. So let's review what is wholesaling here again in 5 steps. Step number 1, find a great deal on the property. Step number 2, get the property under contract. Step number 3, find a potential buyer who can buy it with cash. Step number 4, assign the contract to the buyer or complete a double close. Step 5, wholesaler keeps the difference of the money. We will be doing Learn With Me series where I will be talking to industry experts, learn a lot, their experiences and the current market conditions, what to start, where to start, different categories of the real estate investing. Hope you have learned what is wholesaling and where you can start. Thank you again for tuning. See you later.